Today's topic, revisiting what works. Hi, I'm Doug Holt, author of Your Own Story, and this is your Daily Growth Hack, where each day we give you a tip, trick, or insight to help you up-level what we call the 5 to Thrive. That is your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and your business. So it's really important to remember to revisit what's working for you. Now, what I'm talking about is revisiting thoughts or courses or ideas or books or things that really strike you as relevant and things that you found have worked for you in the past. So for me, this could be a YouTube video or a podcast or a message simply like these daily growth hacks. When I find something that works for me, I make sure I revisit them. And that's exactly why we do some of these revisits for the daily growth hacks. Now, we also do them because I travel a lot and I'm living the author of your own lifestyle myself. But my team picks the revisits that they like the best, the ones that have made the most impact in themselves and their own lives, but also the ones we get the most feedback with. Another thing that I commonly do is if I'm watching a YouTube video and I'm getting inspiration or I'm getting something that's striking a chord with me, or maybe it's something I think I should do more often, and this could be a morning routine or something to do with my relationships or in my body. I have one for mobility. It's something that I'm working on right now in the area of my body. What I'll do is I actually mark that on YouTube and I send that to a folder. So on YouTube, you can create your own playlists. Now I have a playlist that says watch regularly. I set it to private so no one else can access it to see what I'm watching regularly. Not that it matters. There's nothing there that's any secret. I just set it that way because there are people that come visit me and message me on YouTube, and I don't want them to get confused and just follow my own track because it's your story. But I'll set that in there and then I'll go back and I'll watch those regularly. So every once in a while I'll go through, and usually I set a timer on my computer. I use Teamwork PM, and if you're in the Author of Your Own Story University, you know this very intimately and how we set those things up. But it comes back and reminds me, usually in a week to 2 weeks, to go back and check that folder. Now, oftentimes I check that folder and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a great idea. I need to revisit this. And I'll watch those videos and I'll get the inspiration maybe that I'm looking for in that moment. But also oftentimes I'll just get that little nugget or reminder. Because the videos that I save sometimes are things that I don't like to do. Mobility is not my favorite, for example. But when I see that there's a mobility video in there for me to do for my shoulder mobility, I've had 2 surgeries on my shoulders, then that's something I just remind myself to go through. It's just that extra little reminder. The same as with inspiration or with these podcasts. So if you find daily growth hacks that you love, what I would suggest is making sure you mark those, either downloading them onto your iPhone or going over to the website, bookmarking them and reminding yourself to go back, or going to YouTube and marking them into your favorites or into your own folder called Watch Regularly or whatever else it is for you. And this allows you to revisit moments of inspiration and moments of insight so you can keep building on yourself. Remember, becoming the author of your own story is just like working out. It's not something that happens overnight. It's like, when you're working out, you just don't become buff or ripped or whatever it may be. You actually do it over time. It's incremental time or incremental efforts that are put into this that really allow you to up-level to the life that you really want to live. And your life may be great now. Maybe you just want it a little bit greater. I don't know where you're at. But for me, it's actually revisiting these thoughts, revisiting these things. Again, these are also books for me that I read regularly. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich is one of those books that I try to read regularly. But when it comes to other aspects of my life, and this also is with songs, I set a reminder. Now, you can set a reminder on your iPhone. If you have an iPhone or an Android, there are reminder apps that do that, and they do it very well. Strides is one that I've used before. But because I manage all of my businesses through a project management software, I also manage my life through that. And so if you have any questions about which one I use, I'm happy to answer those questions. Just go ahead and put a note below, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. This is something that I've developed over the past, 10 plus years. And I've tried all kinds of things from writing little notes and sticky notes all over my office to using a big whiteboard or whatever it may be. But I found that the actual project management works well for me because I'm a business owner. So I'm always looking to see how my businesses are doing and try and help my team as well as our clients out. And so I've consolidated all into one system for me that works for me. So what I want you to think about right now is write down your 5 to Thrive. What's one thing in each key area that you'd like to revisit or something that you think you could do again? And set yourself up for success. Now, if you can't come up with something, so for example, for me, mobility, if you don't have anything for your body right now, set up a system at least so when that comes up, you're able to do it. And so what I mean by that is set up a system where maybe it's YouTube, and I'll use that as an example, where you have a folder ready for you. A folder that says watch regularly or watch later or whatever it may be, whatever strikes a chord within you. And have that folder ready so when you do stumble upon a YouTube video, whether it be in the Author of Your Own Story group or anywhere else on the internet or just watching YouTube, that you're able to mark that quickly to watch regularly and revisit. And so you have a system set up for yourself that lets you avoid the traps, right? The traps that we all fall into, the negativity, getting sick. Right now I have a cold. This is a product of hanging out with too many infants, you just passing wrong germs. But now I have these systems in place that allow me to cover kind of that Pareto's law of the 80-20. And so I'm covering those things by just watching those regularly. And, right now, later today, this afternoon, I have couch time scheduled. In the sense, I've mentally scheduled some time just to relax on the couch. And in that relaxation, I can go ahead and queue up those YouTube videos and stream them right to my TV, those watch regularlies. It just keeps me on track. So I want you to set those systems up. So go through your 5 to Thrive. That's the first thing. And write those things down in each category that you'd like to revisit. In your mind, it could be a book, or it could be a thought process, or it could be just coming to these daily growth hacks. In your relationships, it could be contributing to a community. If you're looking for new friends, for example, you might want to set up something that you revisit the Author of Your Own Story community on a daily basis and post something so you can share share yourself with other people and meet new people on there. Or it could be something totally different. It's really up to you. But the key is to make yourself systems. That way you can leapfrog the success of others, but you can also escape those what I call trap doors in life, where you just forget for one reason or another, or something comes up and you're not able to do that. So these systems allow you to have that in place. Now, if you have things in your 5 to Thrive, I suggest creating those systems immediately and following through and making sure you have those checkpoints. So this is a great tip in the sense that it can really help you with revisiting things that have clicked for you and things that have worked for you in the past. That way you can continue on that road and see those breadcrumbs along the way to becoming the author of your own story. That's it for me today. Go over to authorofyourownstory.com where you can get more tips, tricks, and techniques just like these delivered right to your inbox. We have a big launch we're working on for January, and I want you to be a part of it. So make sure you get on that newsletter right now. Have a great day. Remember, go out and be the author of your own story.
I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Growth Hacks. Please put your comments right down below, and remember to click subscribe. This way we can ensure that we're delivering these daily growth hacks right to you each and every day. On behalf of the whole team here, remember, go out and be the author of your own story.